Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our last installment of our first color along in Hanna Karlzon's Daydreams. We are going to finish up this page. Finally, I know you're saying, thank goodness, Dana, but we're going to be doing his hat, the stalks of the mushrooms, the flowers, the leaves, and behind the flowers and leaves, and all this little stuff down here, and our little snail, and it'll be done. So real quick, I did want to show you guys what I was talking about at the beginning of our first video with the background with the distressed ink, and I was complaining because I didn't know how to get in these little spots, and I used a Q-tip, which worked okay, but you can see the lines and stuff, and it's not very evenly spread. Anyways, I had mentioned that I wanted to know of a product, the name of a product that where you paint it on top of something that you don't want like the ink to get on, and then once you're done, you rub it off and it comes off of where you painted. So this is what I got from Amazon. It's called Peebo drawing gum, I guess. That's what it is. And it comes with this and two brushes to paint it on. And you paint it on and then you let it dry, and then you can stamp all over it and then rub it off, I guess, of the page. I've seen my Colorful Country Life, I've seen her do a color along and use, I think it's this brand, but the same thing. So I bought it. It wasn't real cheap. I think it was $20 for this, which is not very cheap. But if there's a cheaper product that works just the same, I would love to know from you guys. It came in this box here from Amazon. Anyways, I just wanted to show you guys that's what I'll be using the next time I want to do this, so that I can get in the nooks and crannies without getting ink on the things I don't want ink on. So we are going to start. I know we probably should finish the stalks if we're going in order, but Dana doesn't go in order a lot of times. I want to do the flowers, the little flowers down here on the bottom. So let me zoom you in and we'll get started. So since these flowers are very small, we can't use too many colors. I generally use 3 colors or more. But right now, I think we're going to stick with 2 blues and a white for the tips of the petals. I'm using a white instead of like a sky blue because in the Polychromo set, there really isn't a sky blue, I've noticed. There is an kind of a tealy light blue, but it doesn't really go with these two in my opinion. So we're going to be using white for the tips of the flowers. So let me tell you what we're using. Follow Blue 110. I think that's how you pronounce that. Light Follow Blue 145. And white 101. And these are polychromos. So let's do a couple together, and then I will get those done and we'll move forward. So let's pick a flower here. I'm going to be using the darkest one, the Follow Blue 110. And we'll do this one right here by the snail, I think. Are we close enough? Maybe I'll zoom you in just a little more. All right, so for this, it's going to be kind of simple because, like I said, again, they're kind of small. So I'm just going to take our darkest blue, the Phthalo Blue 110, and we're just going to lightly color in down at the very middle base area of each petal, like so. And kind of give it a couple layers because it's a polychromos thing, you know. And don't push too hard, because it's not a Prisma. We went through that last video. And I'm just gonna do the dark part of each petal. right now. And I think what I'll do for the center little bulbs here, see how we have little pollen balls in the middle of the flowers? I think I'm just going to do some white Uniball Signo on those. I think. So let's finish this up here. A little blue behind those. Be careful. And just a heads up with blue pigmented pencil, I find, if you didn't already know this, it can smear. Like if you're started over here, for instance, at the edge, and then you're going this way with your flowers, don't put your hand on the blue. It tends to get rubbed off onto your hand, and then you smear it across your page. It's a mess. Anyways, so always use a piece of paper. Have a piece of paper here handy to set your hand on in case there's any rub off. We don't really have to do that right at this moment because we're doing one flower, but I will be using that while I color the rest of these. Okay, so we have our darkest blue down, the phthalo blue. And then I'm going to take our lighter blue, the light phthalo blue 145, and right up to and a little overlapping, we're just going to color in there. And I'm going to end up going over the dark blue again because there's a lot of the paper tooth, I guess, showing, and I don't like that. So I'll be going over that again. I actually don't do a lot of blue flowers. Generally, I don't know why, but I gravitate towards pinks and reds and stuff like that, and purples, like I did the mushrooms. Creature of habit, I suppose. Okay, let me make not such a line there. Okay, now let me darken up the bottom area here before we do the white. I want a little more of a contrast there. I don't know how the colors are showing up on the camera, but it's kind of too samey for me. So I'm going to just deepen that up a little bit. And then kind of quickly go over the blending areas of the lighter blue. So that we don't have just a stark line there. And then I'm going to take the white 101. These are all polychromos. We're just using the polychromo set for the pencils in this. And I'm just going to kind of go over the lighter blue and the tip of the flower. And I might put a little bit of the light blue there on the end because this doesn't quite blend like the Prismas do. It doesn't smoosh together. So I might go over that a little bit with the lighter blue. Just so that lighter effect really shows. But it's still blue instead of, white. Does that make sense? I'm kind of jibber-jabbering, I'm sorry. Just a little bit of blue on top of that white, and then I'm going to go back over it again. So it's not such a stark difference, but, still light. Okay. All right. And nothing too fancy about that. You know, they're cute little blue flowers. So I'm going to jump off and do the rest of them. And then when I come back, we'll start doing a few of the leaves in the background. Okay, we are back, and I finished the little flowers down here. We are doing the same blues on the hat of the frog, and we're going to do that in a little bit. But we are going to go ahead and now do the leaves down here. And I am going to use the same greens that I used on Mr. Frog. They are, the darkest is Chrome Oxide Green 278. Then there is Permanent Green Olive 167. And then the lightest green, which is Earth Green Yellowish 168. And those are the ones we're going to use for these leaves. And I'm going to start with the darkest. And we will do a couple in here. Let's do these two, shall we? And again, kind of like the petals, all I'm doing for these is I am going darkest to lightest upwards and then blending. So just the bottoms of the leaves, and with some light pressure, but going back over and over and over again, layering. Darkens it up, obviously keeping this area lighter so that it blends well with the next color green that we have. Okay. And then we have the middle tone green, which is the Permanent Green Olive 167. And I'm gonna, in little circles, blend it together, overlapping the dark chrome green a little bit, and then bringing it up like so. Don't know why I got southern there for a second, sorry. And I'm just kind of going back over again, not pushing super hard, but just layering so that we can get rid of all of the little white specks, all the tooth on the page. Personally, I don't like that there. Some people don't mind it. I am one that does. Like that, and do it over here. Again, overlapping some of that dark green color. Oops, going a little too high there. And then we'll take the lightest green, which is the Earth Green Yellowish 168. And we'll do the same. And then I just kind of go down a little bit over everything with the lighter color kind of blending and trying to smoosh it together a little bit. And then finish up this one. Now, in the comments below, you guys, if you want to go ahead and let me know what you prefer. In the first one, actually I might have done it some in the second one too, I did a speed up and showed you all of the things I was coloring, like with the toadstool tops and everything, and the frog. I did a speed up of me coloring it once I told you what I was doing. Um, but I also have done a couple, like the flowers, and then come back to you with all the rest of them done. Which would you prefer? Do you want to see me color all of them in a speeded up version with some music while after I show you one? Or do you want me to show you a couple like I'm doing now and then come back when all the other ones are done? Speaking of which, I will be back with all the other leaves done. Okay, you guys, I went ahead and finished all the leaves, and then I did decide to use my lightest green for the little tiny little dudes down here, which was the earth green yellowish 168. Okay, so now I'm gonna have us do the stalks on the mushrooms, and for that I'm going with a color combo of 2 browns and let's see, what are we doing? Ivory. So the darkest brown is gonna be Burnt Umber 280, and then our lighter tone is Raw Umber 180, and then of course the Ivory 103. And I'm going to start with my darkest. I think I'll just move the keep us. I think we're zoomed in enough. Sorry, I keep turning my head. And I'm just going to follow the lines that Hanna has already given us, and just kind of shade where they are. So just kind of follow the lines and do a little bit of shade right underneath where that black line is with this darkest brown, and just kind of give it a shade. I don't know. I don't know what the terminology is. And kind of just follow up a line here. Just like that. And once we're done with this, we'll take that other brown and we'll add a little more. Just go down like so. Just giving it a little bit of depth and dimension. In those cracks and crevices that Hanna has given us. Okay, just like that. And then I'm going to take the Raw Umber, and I'm just going to kind of, in a tiny, very light circular motion, right where I put that dark, burnt umber, I'm just right underneath it going to do a little soft circular motion and put that raw umber right underneath it, like so. Okay, just like that. You guys, here, I'll scooch in just a little bit more. So you can't really see it, but I've gone over the lines here and then using the raw umber, the middle brown tone, I've done a little extra of a shadow there, all along the lines that Hanna provided. And now I'm going to take my ivory, and I'm just, with little circles always, going to kind of burnish that a little bit, not pushing too hard. Like, you don't have to push hard at all, really. And I'm just going to break the tip off and just kind of finish off in little circles the white areas, and still going over the raw umber. Just kind of covering it all up with some ivory, pushing in that lighter brown so that it blends more and there's not such sharp lines. Just like that. And it's not going to be perfect. Mine's not going to be perfect just because I'm new at this, and you know, I'm learning as well as we go, kind of flying by the seat of my pants, y'all. Really is what I'm doing. But that is how I do the mushroom stalks. And then the longer part of it, this part right here, sorry, I'm looking at my camera. There we go, you can see that. See where she did the dots? We're just gonna, here, I'll do that. Never mind, we'll just do it together. Again, we'll do this part. Make sure you can see. Just like this one. But here, I'm going to take the darker, the burnt umber 280, and I'm going to just kind of come right underneath that flap of the stalk for the shade. Just right in there where the little dots are that Hanna gave us. Again, Hanna kind of helps us out with where we're supposed to be shading and such. So we'll do that and bring it down a little bit. Like so. Then I'm going to take the raw umber, the middle brown, raw umber 180, and again, just right on the outside of that darker color, and kind of just bring it around. And I'm gonna layer these, so I know it looks like a hot mess right now, but it won't, hopefully. Overlap that line a little bit with your raw umber, like that. Taking the burnt umber again and just making that shadow line up top just a little bit darker. In those areas where we want it to be dark. And take our raw umber again and blend them together. Like so. And then I'm going to take my ivory, and before I do that, I'm going to use my makeup brush and swoosh off the excess pencil, and then in small circles, we're gonna blend. And actually, you know what? sorry, I'm learning. Like I said, I'm learning too. We're gonna fade this out. I kind of did a harsh line. So we need to fade out or it's not gonna look very good because these are polychromos and they don't smoosh. You've heard me say this a million times, I'm sorry. They don't smoosh like the Prismas do. So I'm gonna have to blend into nothingness here as we go. Okay, and I'll probably work on that a little bit more off camera so that it's not as pronounced, because you know, layer upon layer upon layer until you like the way it looks is how we do, right? And I will go off and get these stalks done. Okay, you guys, I finished the stalks. We still need to do the underside of these two mushrooms, which we're going to use the same colors on. We'll do that in a minute. And we still are going to use the same blue combination from the small flowers up here on his hat, and then the green of the stem on the top is going to be, again, the same greens. So I'm incorporating the greens and blues up here and down here to, you know, make it more cohesive. And we still need to do our snail, and I'm not gonna lie, really nervous about the background behind these flowers, this blank space here, and blending it with what we've got already. I'm really nervous about that, and I'm not quite sure how to do it. I just faded into it, I suppose, but I think I'm going to use our darkest green, which is the chrome oxide green 278 down here, and then all the way up to about here. I'm just going to kind of fill it in. I'm gonna look a few things up real quick and be right back. Okay guys, I'm a dwarf and I thought I had pushed the button to record and it did not record again, so what I did was use the same greens. You guys can see all of this from darkest to lightest going up. Just a spot. I think that's actually part of the stalk now. It's too late. It's fine. And I'm not done. I'm going to put a little more of the distressed oxide wild honey in these areas to make it hopefully blend a little bit better with the pencil. I'm finding it a little bit difficult. And I'm going to use my small brush that I got off of Amazon. Dab it off on a piece of paper. And I'm gonna come in here and make it a little darker here around the pencil that I did. And I'm hoping that by doing that, it's gonna blend things a little better. And then I'll probably go back in with the pencil again. Okay, well I think this is a little bit better. I'm gonna go over here too. Just a little bit. I don't have much ink on my brush at all. And I'm just kind of going over where the faded light green is. And the greens I used, like I said, are the ones I used for the frog, but so you guys don't have to look them up again. Sorry, I should have done this prior to. So the darkest green, just like the leaves, is the Chrome Oxide Green 278. And then I used Permanent Green Olive 167. And then the lightest green is the Earth Green Yellowish 168. And that's the one I am going to use again on these little edges here once I'm done with the Distressed Oxide in Wild Honey. I'm just going over, like I said, the pencil. But I'm going to try to see if that transition can be smoother. Okay, once I do that, let me look and see how it's going to work. I'm not going to zoom you in because I'm just showing you the whole picture for now. It's not, I'm just kind of meshing things together here. Just a little bit better. A little bit more in there. Okay. Well, actually, let's put a tiny bit more. A little darker here. It's not the best, and I'll have to definitely practice this part of this part of the spectrum here. This technique, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. I don't know why I said spectrum. But, you know, everybody's got to learn sometime, right? Okay, that is good enough. So now, all we have to do is the snail and the hat on the frog. And then, of course, the white gel pen, which we'll do at the end. Okay, so I am gonna zoom you into our snail. We're gonna get him done. Okay, here is Mr. Snail. And let me get these things. Oh, and we're also on the frog's eyes, we're also gonna do. I didn't mention that before. We still haven't colored in his eyes. Okay, the colors we're gonna use for Mr. Snail are gonna be the same browns we used on the stalks of the mushrooms, and the ivory, as well as we're gonna use 2 more colors, and I'll list them all. Sorry, my nose itches. We're going to also use Cinnamon 189 and Beige Red 132. And these are going to be for his little body. And then the browns and the ivory are going to be for his shell. And those are from darkest to lightest: Burnt Umber 280, Raw Umber 189. No, I'm sorry, 180. And Ivory 103. So those are the things we're going to use, and I'm going to start on his shell. So I'm going to use the darkest brown I have, which is the Burnt Umber 280. And I am going to start in the center of his shell. Fill it in And then I'm going to follow this line in a circular motion with the darkness, with the dark brown, and I'm just going to follow. Medium pressure is what I'm using right now. Like that. And I'm going to actually continue around on the inside of the line of his outer side of his shell, if that makes sense. And I'm going to keep going. Make sure my arm is not in the way. Okay. All right. Perfect. It's actually a little bit thicker than I had thought, but it'll probably be fine. I'm going to put a little bit down here on the ground there. Okay, and then I'm going to take the lighter brown, which is the raw umber 180. And I'm going to follow that around. On the other side. Apparently. I might just barely at all just bring that line so it's not so harsh on that side. There we go. All right, now I'm going to use the ivory. And we're going to go in. And pull them together. I might need to use the raw umber on that other side so that it blends that dark brown together better, which I will do. And then we'll go back over it. Okay. Sorry guys. With polychromos, I'm so used to, I love my Prismas, and I'm so used to them smooshing together that I forget I need to layer, layer, layer with these. So let me do that. Okay, that's better. Okay, and there is his shell. Sorry, I looked away from the microphone again. There's his shell. And then we're going to take our cinnamon 189, and I am just going to lightly, in small circles, do the belly and then closest to his shell, just to get some color on there. And then underneath on the bottom of his tail, just a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to use the beige red 132. And I'm going to go over that, the line. And fill in the rest of Little Mr. Snail. And then I'm going to end up going back over this with the cinnamon. I can already tell. little darker. Bring it up closer to his little mouth. Like so. And then use the beige red again. And use the beige red to go into his little antennae. Fill those in. There. And there's my snail. You guys, it's kind of, I don't know if you can see the colors very well. At least on my recording software, it looks really washed out. I hope that that's not how you guys will end up seeing it on YouTube. We'll see. Okay, so he's done. My snail is done. And now I will zoom you into Mr. Frog's face with his little hat. I have with me 2 colors for his eyes. The first is dark chroma yellow 109, which looks orange to me, but that's okay. And then light chrome yellow 106. So we'll take the darker of the 2 first, and you know what? Let me really quickly sharpen this bad boy. Okay. I'm going to go on the top of each of his little eyeballs and just lightly fill in this bright orangish yellow on just the tops of his eyeballs. Like this. And then with the yellow, light chrome yellow, which is very bright, I'm gonna do the other side, the other half. And then I'm gonna make another dot, including, so 2 dots in both of the eyes, you'll see, with the white gel pen. And then I'm just gonna kind of mix it a little bit with the other color. There. Oh no, I scooted him down. I'm so sorry. Oh Lord, I hope you saw that. You could just barely see his eyes on the screen. I'm sorry. I am a professional. Okay. Lord. All right, his eyes are almost done. Obviously the white gel pen is a thing, but we are going to do his hat now. And I am going to, real quick, we're going to do the same blues as we did on the flowers that were below, and I will show those to you on screen again. But first, I'm going to take our 2 lightest greens for the top of his hat. So I'm going to do the earth green yellowish 168 and the permanent green olive 167. And I'm gonna just real quick do the top here of his little hat. Just kind of use the permanent green olive kind of in a horseshoe on the ball area there, and then on the bottom of each of these little strands I'm just going to kind of outline it with this darker green like that, and then one side of the one that's going straight up there. And then I'm going to take the lightest of our greens, the earth green yellowish, and fill in the blanks. Fill in the holes here. Just fill in the rest of the little stems, I guess, of the flower hat. And this one looks a little bit different because some of it, I did get some Distress Oxide ink in these little stem areas, so some of it is a little bit discolored, and that's my fault. And like I said, I bought this for next time so that doesn't happen, but that's okay. I'm completely fine with it. Okay, so that part's done. And then I am going to 3 different blues this time. 2 of them that we've already used on the flowers below, and then the middle color, and you'll see what I mean. Okay, so darkest to lightest, we are going with, let's see, Phthalo Blue 110, and then our new color, Medium Phthalo Blue 152, and then the lightest one, which is the Light Phthalo Blue 145. So we have these 3, which look really similar probably on screen, but they're lightest to darkest, obviously. And then I'm going to have white 101 in case I want to just highlight the highlights a little more, you know. So we're going to start with the dark blue, Phthalo Blue 110. I'm going to sharpen it real quick, just a little. And I am going to start at the top and just lightly map out what we're doing here. So it's going to be darkest up here by the stem. All the way around the upper side here. Like this. And of course it's going to be darker, but I'm just kind of planning things out here. And then each petal, I'm going to line the edges with the darker blue. Like this. And I'm just doing this really lightly first off, just so I can kind of map out, like I said, what I'm doing here. And then I'm gonna, do I want to? Yeah, I'll bring the dark all the way down this line that Hanna has given us. And then I'm gonna make it a little thicker on the sides and bring it down about halfway around the petal edge there. Sure you guys can see this. Okay, so a little thicker and halfway down the petal, just like that. Okay. All right, and then you know what? No, we're gonna go all the way around the petal. Sorry. Gonna go all the way around like so, because I'm gonna create a highlighted area, but I want that kind of to be in the 2 centers. This line is gonna segregate the 2 lighter sides. I guess you guys can probably see that taking shape now, like that. And I'm going to use the middle Phthalo Blue 152. And like I said, this is really light, so it's going to look real choppy and not mesh well, but it really does. Or it really will, I should say. I'm going to do this and just kind of go around. And we'll be blending like that. I'm just kind of flying by the seat of my pants here, you guys. So if it's a fail, oh well. Oh well. Okay, And then the lightest blue is going to go in the center. Okay, and you can't probably really see without the naked eye. Like I can see them. You'll see the definition start to take shape as I do the second layer. So let's do that. Things start getting darker here. All right. Just like that. Okay, I'm back and there is our front petal. I just darkened it up the way I showed you, and then I just put the light phthalo blue on the little flipped up part. Okay, and then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take our two darker color blues and I'm going to do these bottom back petals because they're going to be darker because they're shadowed. So I'm going to get those done really quick, and then we'll do the side petals. So I'm taking my phthalo blue 110, which is our darkest blue, and I'm going to put it in the very corner of that back petal there. On both sides. Make it nice and dark and rich back there. And then I'm going to take our middle blue and make a mess here. And just color that in. Looks like the same color on screen, but it doesn't. It's not. Darken it up a little bit. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to take our darkest blue and again up top here, you're gonna just color it in basically, and then just do an outline. All the way down. Like that. And then we'll do this middle piece. Same on the other side. And I'm not the best at flowers yet, you guys. I know I disclaim everything, and I'm sorry. I'm learning. And if ever you notice that I'm doing something the hard way, by all means, go ahead and give me some pointers. I do not mind at all. because this is all new to me. All right, so there's our darkest. We're gonna go in now and just kind of do the edges with our middle blue. And then I'll probably end up darkening it again on the outsides, because I think I should have gone with a little bit of a darkest blue, if that makes sense. Kind of complete that line there with our middle blue. Right there, okay. Just kind of fill in some of that. So now we're going to go in with our lightest blue, light phthalo blue. I'm going to fill that in. And then I am going to take our darkest blue and finish that line. Because it seems to sort of disappear. There we go. All right. Okay. A little more light blue. And that tooth. Because I can't stand the white tooth. And on the side, away from the microphone again. There's our hat. Okay, now all that's left is our Uniball white signal. I'm going to put a second dot in his eyes along with that one. Okay, and then we're gonna go down our flower hat a little bit. And I'm gonna fill in these bad boys. See, I've already lost my flow. All right, I'm back. We did all of our pin on the flowers and the mushrooms and the hat and eyes. Got it all done. And now we are going to put a little bit of color on the underneath side of the mushrooms. And actually, let me grab my gel pen, my Uniball Signo, and the line here, I'm just gonna make it white, if I can get the flow to go. And so. Just that lip of the mushroom. I don't know why, but we're doing it. Okay, and then what I'm doing next is taking the burnt umber 280, and I'm gonna just around the shadowy bits, around the edge of the mushroom cap, we're gonna shade that in. Okay, and then we'll take the raw umber 180, go on the outside of it, this, lightly. Overlap a little bit for blending purposes. I'm going to do a thin layer on the bottom over here of the raw umber. Then we're going to take the ivory, 103, and we're going to just fill in the rest. A little bit off-white. Bring that umber, mooshed it in a little bit. Moosh, moosh, moosh it in. Those technical terms, you know. And that brings a little bit more color, spreads it around a little bit more. I'm going to use a little more raw umber. Where it doesn't look quite blended enough. I want it all to be kind of just fading into each other, you know? There we go. All right, and then of course I'll do the same thing over here. Yay! I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm pretty happy with it. There are some things that I can definitely work on, like the fading of the background behind the flowers and stuff here. Not my favorite. But for the most part, I'm happy with it, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and that you liked it as well. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for future content. Our little community is growing, and I would love for it to keep going. Stay tuned for the next one. I don't know exactly what we're doing, but we'll be doing another one, obviously. And yeah, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.